Hello, everybody. My name is T. I am joined by Quinn from Wollywogs. We're going to be talking about his Week 1 match versus Charge Brigade, as well as his division, and a lot about his, career and talk about players who have played a while in Mario Kart Wii. So, how are you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's been a long
Awesome.
day. Just finished watching LCS.
So did I.
Yeah. Anyways, so I guess we can talk about your match versus Charge Brigade. You guys, I believe, won by 34 points. Something I noticed,
Yeah.
was that you guys tried doing all run with, and they actually bagged, I believe.
Yeah, they did. So,
So what happened there?
yeah, well, basically, I think I should start by saying that, like, I saw that the community vote basically put us first because I think a lot of people were under the impression that our team was going to kind of be a culmination of the two teams of last season. And obviously, yeah, we had two really good teams that finished first and third in D1. So I can see why people would think that we would combine the team, but a lot of people lost interest, like TK and Crash and Akane and Shantani. None of them really want to play anymore. So we also don't have as far as the bagging situation, don't really have someone who wants to bag. And we basically said to ourselves, if we're going to play another season, we aren't going to force someone to bag that really doesn't want to, because it's just not really enjoyable for anyone.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Because the team morale goes down, and they just, even if they're like good at bagging, like Nico and Trevor were always good at bagging, they just never liked doing it. So we basically decided we would just start doing all run if no one wants to bag. So that's what happened.
So have you guys been practicing all run even though the other team bags and stuff like that, or have you just done all run wars?
Yeah, we've done a little bit of that in casual wars. Like we haven't been doing a whole lot of practicing with our, I guess what you would call our main lineup.
Hmm.
So not a whole lot, but I mean we're used to casual warring and none of us wanting to bag, and then the enemy bagging. So pretty
Yeah.
used to it.
Isn't it kind of get annoying because like you have to play around shock a lot? Because normally like you like try to get shock and stuff, and then you can play around it, but like for the most part, you can't really get shock a lot, I'm assuming.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, do you just have to predict a lot of shocks, or like where they use it?
Yeah, you have to predict a lot. You have to run a lot and hope that you're spread out. Where you have at least a couple people in the front, and
Hmm.
so a shock isn't going to affect them as much. And then you want to try to get people with dodges to predict the enemy shocks, because especially in like WL matches, it's kind of obvious when people are going to use shock. It can
Okay.
be predicted. And I mean, in the case of versus CB, we just thought we were probably the better racers. So, and then we also have an advantage in that five of us are racing and only four of them are racing. It's really not
Yeah.
that bad of a strategy. So, yeah.
All right. I know some other teams. I remember before Battle Alliance was a huge like proponent of schlagging, like hitting people on purpose. Do you think that's
Right.
another effective strategy to counter this as well?
Yeah. Well, slagging in terms of like countering baggers, like only one team having a bagger.
Or like
I
just in general, like what do you think about like schlagging in like general?
Right. Well, shagging is very effective. Having
Yeah.
one person who, I mean, some people's play styles are literally just to schlag for their team,
Okay.
and it's incredibly annoying, but it is
Yeah.
incredibly effective. If you remember back when MS was in D1 and they got upset by
Yeah.
KG winning, that was pretty much because players like May, who are on KG, were slagging. And
Okay, that's
players
fair.
like Russo were scoring 180 every war because their
Yeah.
teammates were, like May and Hava were working around them. So,
Yeah.
yeah, slagging is very, very
So
effective.
it's like they just play for them. Yeah.
Right.
So I'm assuming you guys are not really comfortable with schlagging.
I mean, it depends on the player. Like,
Mhm.
obviously, if we get, I mean, it depends on what you mean, but if we get like triple reds in
Yeah.
fifth, and there are two of them behind you in a WL match, pretty much anyone is going to schlag in that situation.
Hmm.
So, I mean, we're comfortable with it. More people are willing to do it more often than others. Like I would say for our team, like Edison is really comfortable schlagging a lot if he gets the items for it, and other players. So it kind of just depends. But everyone knows how to do it, and
Yeah.
if it's important, yeah.
Okay. So like I know, so you guys really don't have like a defined like, oh, this person front runs, this person schlag. It's just everybody runs, and whoever is hit back, they like schlag or get dodges.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. This is like a
Yeah.
very
I
old
mean,
school strat. Yeah.
right. We don't really,
Yeah.
in this season at least,
Hmm.
we don't really have, like, I guess last season I played on WZ Kyogre and we had Sean Tanny. Sean Tanny was like the runner, and he was the
Hmm.
guy who was just going to be in the front for us. Samuel to an extent too, actually. But Cool and I are more pack players. So,
Right.
and we don't really have hard designated runners anymore. So,
Hmm.
yeah, we're basically just playing our play styles and seeing how it works.
So I think I guess talk about your individual performance. I believe you got you did you scored I believe like around 70, I believe. Oh no, you scored 84. So
Oh yeah,
how do you
today.
think you did I guess not only just like how you race, but also how did you do in terms of comms, or how did you feel like you did?
I feel like the past couple of seasons, comm wise, I've gotten a lot better
Hmm.
because in WZ, the people who are always dictating things have always been like TK and Cool. But I feel like, especially being on like Kyogre and also even Lavalse, you would expect that like Xander and Cool would be calling everything. But honestly, Xander was pretty quiet. And so I had to call a lot more. And so I've gotten better at that over the past couple seasons. But so yeah, on that in that regard, I think I'm doing pretty well. But in terms of racing, I definitely am not too happy with my performance today.
Okay.
I feel like versus CB, I mean, like this D1 is like if I got 84 versus Vitality, I would be content.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
put it that way. But in this D1, if I'm scoring 84 against teams that like were D2 teams or in previous seasons, I don't know. I'm not uh, that happy with my performance today in that regard. But I mean, it's not too bad, and we won, so
Yeah,
it's
that's always good. Yeah.
yeah,
So I guess we can talk about your division. I think it's just a lot of. I think it's. I. It seems like you, Wollywogs, I believe.
yeah. It's Charge Brigade
Avail,
as well. We played
Avail,
them.
Metro
Avail.
Wipeout, Untouchables. So
Yep.
do you think? I know a lot of people in the past have said like D1's just like a two division uh race for first. Do you think it's like the same this season as well?
What do you mean by two division?
Like, or sorry,
Like,
two clan race or something, or like two team,
oh,
like
okay.
only like just two dominating teams, and the rest are like kind of like
uh,
fighting.
well, I don't know. Maybe I'm a little what's the word? Biased, but last season I would say it was maybe a three-way for
Okay.
first, because
Yeah.
it between well, actually no, not really. It was even kind of like a four-way, but uh this season is a one-way. I don't think anyone is going to touch Vitality as long as they do what they normally do and they're not playing Fortnite 27 hours 24 hours a day, then they'll be fine. I mean, like today, I think they all scored 100 plus
Uh,
versus Vale.
oh no,
I think
Metro
it's who they
Wipeout.
played. Metro Wipeouts.
Yeah, they
Okay.
all scored. Yeah, 129,
Yeah.
117, 103,
Yeah.
102. Jesus
And that
Christ.
was without Xander.
Oh my
So
God. Wow.
yeah, Vitality is by far the best team right now in
Hmm.
Division One. Obviously, last season I wouldn't have said that. They didn't even
Yeah.
win.
All
So
right. Yeah.
because yeah, the WZ teams were really good, and I mean, Kyogre almost was able to pull off a win against them in the playoffs. But
Hmm.
so yeah, but this season it's totally different. I mean,
Oh yeah.
WZ is completely different, and Vitality isn't. So
Yeah. It's kind of strange because like over the WL season, I remember like them always playing second fiddle to either like I guess the old I wouldn't say like charge like the old Charge Brigade team slash
yeah,
like Underground King slash MS slash that type of
yes.
team. It's weird to see. It's
Yeah,
kind of
the
interesting.
whole group
Yeah.
of like Crash and a Kane and Hawk bagging that was
Hmm.
and Jeff when he was playing that
Yeah.
was definitely formidable.
Yeah. But
Uh,
now it's like
yeah, the
it's
skill has gone down a little bit for this season. I
yeah.
think a lot of that. I mean, it's not bad. It's yeah, people
Hmm.
should expect that with the summer ending,
Yeah.
So
Uh, So I guess we can talk about. Uh, I think you've been playing since 2009. You said, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
something around there.
So like, how have you kept up with this game? Like, why do you keep on playing this game? Because sometimes, like, I know for me, like, even though I'm not that good, I always find this game very, very fascinating in terms of like the different, like, especially like with the addition of CTs that I discovered recently. I always find the
Right.
like interesting little mechanics and like the unpredictability of the game very fascinating.
Oh yeah, no, don't get me wrong. The game is like the only reason I've been playing it for this long is because it's a good game. It is a
Yeah.
good game. I don't know why I'm still playing it other than that. I mean, because there are obviously problems and the game isn't always
Yeah.
that enjoyable. But I guess the reason I've been playing it that long is kind of what you were saying. Like the fact that I mean I'm playing what 9 years later
Yeah.
and I'm doing strats that I would have never even considered being something I would do normally, like just a couple years ago. Like, and that's just on Wimpy. So yeah, the game is ever evolving, and I think that's why people like it so much.
Um, Actually, I know this is not part of what I said, but like, well, how do you think the game has evolved over the last few years? Because I cannot really pinpoint. I've never like I've always wondered that question, like how I guess I'm not that much of a top player to understand like how the game has evolved over the years. Like, so I guess
Yeah.
why how as someone who's relatively high, been very high division for a very long time, how have you seen the metagame evolve?
Yeah, it's like a lot of different things. I don't know that I would even say it's like a meta thing. I would say it's mainly um tech and driving. Like driving is just constantly being improved. The fact that like almost everyone can do things like TF Sherm listen, like the whole like just take one example, the tech of like the TF Shrimless tech, where you,
Yeah.
as you're releasing in the air, you like flick in the opposite
Hmm.
direction. Like if you're turning right in a
Yeah.
jump and you flick left, you get more air. That's like a tech that really has only been common in the past few years,
Hmm.
couple years maybe. So like something like that, for example, there's a lot of that. And then obviously like in the beginning communication was really bad,
Yeah.
I guess, compared to now. I mean,
Hmm.
it's you're pretty much made fun of if you can't get your 234 and GV cut and call shock and get all of them out,
Yeah.
but in 2010
Hmm.
that was not something people were so good at doing, and it's just stuff like that.
Yeah. Do you
There's a
play
lot of tech, I would say. It's mainly the
uh
thing.
do you play CTs at all?
Yeah, I mean, I mainly just bag for WZ for
Okay, okay.
CTs. Yeah.
So I guess I'll ask this because I've asked a lot of players. What do you think about the CTWL changes to the 20 tracks?
Oh yeah. I like it. I'd like to
Hmm.
try it.
Yeah.
Because because it's gotten to a point where I played like the last few seasons I played of CTs and I've been bagging in everyone. So I like keep a notepad of shot counts just to see how I'm doing in
Hmm.
every WO match. And then I also keep track of track counts because we the thing we probably complain most about, WZ that is, in these WO matches is track count, because track
Yeah.
count matters a lot in CT wars.
Hmm.
If the track count is 3-9, you probably lost.
Yeah.
Like that's just kind of how it rolls, because track is just, if you've mastered a track that the
Hmm.
other team hasn't, you're going to win the race.
Yeah.
So I like it. I think I actually voted for it, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So because WZ, it's just like, and I have the records to show that our track counts have been so abysmal
Oh
for the most
wow.
part. We lose the vast majority of them. I don't know why, but I'm sure there are other teams who feel the same
Hmm.
way.
Yeah.
So we're personally pretty
Mhm.
happy to see how it'll work.
I feel like I don't know. I saw today that I think was it Daisy who are like the defending champs
Yeah,
for CTD1. They actually lost to I think Mal, who I don't know what was the division they played last time because they didn't play last season for CDWL. And
oh, they didn't.
I yeah, they didn't, I believe. And I've heard from some players that the shot count and the track count was very, very against Daisy squad.
Right. And
Yeah.
the thing, and that's another thing is if your track count is, as a bagger, if your
Hmm.
track count is way in the other team's favor, the shot count will also probably be because it's the same
Yeah.
concept of, them knowing the strategy better than you. So
Hmm.
it really does matter. Track count is very important.
That's kind of one of the few changes I'd like to see. I'd actually like to see like I remember I was talking to Council a bit. I want to see something where um like you can either alternate track counts or like have the losing team pick the track or something like that. I always feel like
Yeah.
track counts if or I always feel like track count should be something that should be eliminated personally because I feel like it eliminates another random element of the game. So there's a little bit more skill involved into it.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know because there's some like pretty big like there's a lot of issues with it, such as the communication time and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Though I
Yeah,
hope,
we'll just have to
yeah.
see how it works. I'm not as actually sure. Is that done in just T1? Because I honestly haven't really heard much about this,
Oh,
so
the
I don't know
random
how they're gonna
tracks?
doing it. Yeah.
The random tracks I think are in all divisions.
Okay. So that'll
Yeah,
be interesting. I mean, I
yeah.
play a CTW match tomorrow, so
Oh, okay, yeah.
see how that works.
I've been so far from what I've been hearing, people are pretty positive about it. I know I've mainly talked to a lot of the higher players, but I know that some people like originally like they didn't like it. I remember some people in SOP didn't like it a lot. Or no, I think it's just one person in SOP who didn't like it. He was vehement, whatever. He was very against it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't speak today, but
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
but
I mean,
eventually he started cooling down his opinions about it.
right.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting change. I was initially against it because I felt like I thought it was gonna be like, oh, it's just all random and stuff like that. But I think that 20 tracks and them like being released Sunday, I think it's really cool. It's kind of like they have to practice
Yeah.
the tracks and see what track is good for them or not. Or if meta tracks are picked, then
Yeah, it
yeah.
might make the process a little bit more of a struggle, but like I really do think it'll make it a little bit more
Hmm.
skill based
Yeah.
if the track counts are, I don't know, even.
Hmm. Yeah.
So
I guess lastly, we kind of strayed from the original topic of like you playing for a long time, but like no, you've been playing for I guess 9 years at this point. Is there any
yeah,
point
pretty
where
much.
is there any point where like you feel like oh this is so tiring, I want to play a different game, like play League of Legends right now or something like that?
Well, I don't know, like, and I get made fun of all the time in WZ for this, but I really don't like trying new games.
Oh
Like,
really?
they'll always want to play a new game. There's always the flavor of the month
Yeah.
game in Wollywogs, and I usually don't want to participate. I mean, sometimes I will. Like, I've tried
Hmm.
Overwatch with them and a lot of
Yeah.
like online games, but I don't know. Like, Mario Kart is, it's never going away. I'm not gonna stop. And then
Yeah.
League, I play League, and I
Hmm.
enjoy it. So yeah, I don't know. I'm not that interested in moving on or getting. I don't get that
Yeah.
tired of it.
You don't
I'm
get
also
to.
not like addicted to it anymore. Like there
Yeah.
used to be a time where I had to play and I wanted to play so badly all the time. Like I like playing Mario Kart as
Hmm.
a pastime, but I don't. I can go a week or two without playing it and it not bother me.
Yeah.
So
I have to go for a
yeah,
few months without playing it. Feels bad.
yeah,
Because university can't connect to the Wii.
yeah.
Feels unfortunate.
I've tried that.
Yeah.
It
And then
doesn't work.
they banned Dolphin slash ISO, so I can't even play WL.
Yeah,
Oh, that's really rough.
yeah, it's rough.
Yeah. Is there anything you'd like to say, just in general? Who are you playing
Um,
next week, actually?
Next week, we're playing a Veil.
Vale. How's that match gonna
So,
go?
I've heard a little bit about their lineup. Like, isn't it Oliphant and Zagler and Negans and stuff like that? I don't even know who their bagger is.
Uh, they play Jam, Olifrey, Zagler, Leo, and Klein. Klein's the backer.
Oh, I heard Zagler say something about Negans and Thomas, but maybe they're not
Oh,
playing right
really?
now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what they played this week.
yeah, this
Yeah.
week. Yeah, I mean, racer-wise, like for most of these teams, I would say that we're better, but
Hmm.
it's the bagging situation. It's going to come
Yeah.
down to how we can maneuver that. I mean, I should say that this week, even like in this match today that we
Mm-hmm.
played, we did start bagging in a couple races GP3.
Yeah.
Like we had someone go back and we got a couple shocks, and I mean we won both races pretty easily because we had just got 2 shocks. So
Oh, okay.
well, that might happen. We
Yeah.
actually have a lot of players registered that know how to bag. So
Mm-hmm.
if we need chalk in a war and it's going really badly without it, then
Yeah.
someone might go back. So
Oh wait, shoot! I just noticed a proxy plate. Is that Kayla?
yeah.
Is that
Uh,
actually?
well, he doesn't go by Kayla anymore.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember. Yeah.
But
Shoot.
yeah, that's Anx or Apraxia and
Yeah. Osu God, by the way.
yeah, oh dear God.
Oh, dude, you know
And
what the cool thing is? Okay, so I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent, but there's this guy who he was in Enigma for a bit, but his name is Angry, and he's actually like he was I think at one point top 500 in Osu. Yeah,
oh.
which is really cool. So I'm like, oh, if you know, do you know Aproxia or something? And he's like, yeah, like I've heard about this guy.
Oh yeah, because I'm pretty sure he was on Team USA, and
Yeah,
so yeah, it's
yeah.
pretty good.
All right, I think that's it. Thank you, man.
All right,
Yeah.
thanks.